Vedic astrology, Arudha Lagna, AL, is a fundamental concept that reveals how an individual is perceived by the world. Unlike the ascendant, which represents one's true self, Arudha Lagna is the illusion, the projected image that others see. It determines one's social standing, reputation, and the way people interact with them. Understanding Arudha Lagna can unlock profound insights into how an individual is viewed in society and the external opportunities that come their way. To calculate Arudha Lagna, we start by identifying the ruler of the ascendant, known as the Lagna Lord. We then count the number of houses from the ascendant to the position of its lord. Once this number is determined, we count the same number of houses forward from the Lagna Lord's position. The house where this count lands becomes the Arudha Lagna. However, there are crucial exceptions to this rule. If the calculated Arudha Lagna falls in the first or seventh house from the ascendant, adjustments are necessary. Instead of placing it in these houses, we move it to the 10th house from that position. This adjustment is essential because the first house represents one's true nature rather than the external perception. And the 7th house, being a house of direct relationships, does not align with the concept of illusion and projected image. Once Arudha Lagna is determined, the influence of planets placed in or aspecting this point becomes critical. Each planet brings a specific energy, shaping how an individual is perceived by society and what kind of recognition or status they attain. If the sun is in Arudha Lagna, the person is seen as authoritative, commanding, and powerful. They are often perceived as leaders, people with influence and status. Their presence exudes confidence, and they naturally attract attention. If the sun is well placed, they are respected for their strength and integrity. However, if afflicted, their image may carry shades of arrogance, pride, or an overwhelming need for control. When the moon is in Arudha Lagna, the individual is seen as warm, nurturing, and emotionally engaging. There is an aura of adaptability and charm around them, making them well-liked and approachable. A well-placed moon grants popularity, social grace, and emotional intelligence, helping them connect with people effortlessly. However, if the moon is afflicted, the person may appear inconsistent, moody, or overly sensitive, leading to fluctuations in their reputation. Mars in Arudha Lagna creates an image of dynamism, confidence, and assertiveness. These individuals are seen as action-oriented, fearless, and ambitious. They often come across as competitive and determined, making them natural leaders in high-energy environments. If Mars is well placed, their reputation is one of strength and courage. However, if afflicted, they may appear aggressive, reckless, or prone to conflicts, sometimes gaining a reputation for being overly combative. Mercury in Arudha Lagna gives the person an image of intelligence, wit, and communication skills. They are perceived as articulate, sharp-minded, and business-savvy. People with Mercury in this position are often seen as youthful and curious, engaging in intellectual pursuits. If Mercury is well placed, they are admired for their quick thinking and ability to navigate complex social dynamics. However, if afflicted, they may be seen as deceptive, manipulative, or overly talkative, struggling with inconsistency in their public image. Jupiter in Arudha Lagna bestows an aura of wisdom, respect, and nobility. Such individuals are often viewed as mentors, teachers, or philosophical guides. Their presence exudes positivity, and they tend to be seen as fortunate or blessed. If Jupiter is strong, their reputation is one of generosity, fairness, and high moral standards. However, if afflicted, they may be perceived as overly preachy, indulgent, or disconnected from practical realities. Venus in Arudha Lagna grants charm, beauty, and artistic appeal. These individuals are seen as refined, elegant, and socially attractive. People are naturally drawn to their charisma, and they may find success in creative fields or positions that require diplomacy and grace. A strong Venus enhances their appeal, making them well-loved in social circles. However, if Venus is afflicted, they may be seen as vain, overly indulgent, or excessively focused on material pleasures. Saturn in Arudha Lagna creates an image of seriousness, discipline, and endurance. These individuals are seen as hardworking, responsible, and structured. They often carry an aura of authority and reliability, making them respected for their persistence and dedication. If Saturn is well placed, they are admired for their discipline and long-term vision. However, if afflicted, they may be perceived as cold, rigid, or overly detached, struggling with social warmth and ease of interaction. Rahu in Arudha Lagna generates an unconventional, mysterious, and sometimes controversial public image. These individuals are often seen as enigmatic figures who challenge societal norms. Their reputation may involve sudden rises and falls, and they tend to attract intrigue or speculation. If Rahu is well placed, they are perceived as innovative, trendsetters, or even revolutionaries. However, if afflicted, they may be seen as deceitful, manipulative, or scandalous, often surrounded by misunderstandings or exaggerated rumors. Ketu in Arudha Lagna results in an unpredictable and detached public image. These individuals may be seen as spiritual, eccentric, or difficult to understand. There is often a sense of mystery or detachment surrounding them, making it hard for others to define them clearly. If Ketu is strong, they are perceived as insightful, wise, and deeply intuitive. However, if afflicted, they may come across as unstable, withdrawn, or socially disconnected, leading to an unpredictable reputation. Understanding Arudha Lagna and the planetary influences within it is essential for interpreting one's social identity. It reveals the external perception rather than the internal reality, helping us understand the kind of recognition or reputation an individual naturally attracts. This knowledge can be used strategically to align one's external actions with their projected image, allowing for greater harmony in public life. How to judge wealth from Arudha Lagna. The 11th house from Arudha Lagna represents income and financial gains. Any planet placed in this house influences a person's financial prospects. If the planet connected to this house is either exalted or debilitated, it significantly enhances wealth accumulation. The primary Dhana Yoga is observed from the 2nd house from Arudha Lagna. If Jupiter, Mercury, a strong moon, or Venus occupies this house, it brings financial prosperity. The presence of exalted or debilitated planets in this house further amplifies wealth, and the more such planets there are, the greater the financial abundance. Additionally, the sign of the 2nd house from Arudha Lagna should be examined in the D9 Navamsa chart. If this sign contains exalted or debilitated planets in D9, it further confirms financial success. To refine wealth predictions, locate A2 Arudha of 2nd house and A11 Arudha of 11th house in your chart. Calculation of Arudha for any house is similar to calculation of Arudha Lagna. Then, check these signs in the D9 chart. If exalted or debilitated planets are present in these signs in D9, the person is likely to experience substantial financial prosperity. If you found this discussion insightful, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to Taurus Astro, and share your thoughts in the comments. Your engagement helps bring more advanced astrological content to this channel. So let me know what topics you'd love to explore next in the world of Vedic astrology.